Hello, my name is Oren Pipano, and welcome to my Maker portfolio. Last summer, I participated in the NASA Aviation Concept Design Experience. My group researched and designed search and rescue drones for use in natural disasters. We developed Storm for search and rescue teams to use autonomous drones to be able to find and deliver supplies to people without risking more lives in the process. To fly through harsh conditions, I determined the optimal wing profile for the drone and 3D designed it using CAD software and fluid simulations. I selected parts for the drone, such as motors and sensors. Using OpenCV's pose estimation model, the drone determines if rescuees' hands are above their shoulders signaling help. The use of voice, text, and was searching for keywords such as help, the drone finds people who are unable to move their arms. We demonstrated the drone's functionality in a presentation to NASA employees and co-wrote a technical memoranda on this project, which is now published in the NASA Technical Report server. Learning that less than a quarter of preteens do physical activity every day and that American students are behind world averages in scientific literacy, I built an app for middle school students to use sports drills to learn scientific concepts. Players select a sports. Options include soccer, basketball, or track, and a randomizer generates a 10-minute sports drill and a related science fact. For example, a lesson involving ball control may link to a fact about Newton's laws of motion or the method of calculating a ball's density. This app won second place in the 2023 Congressional App Challenge in the 3rd Congressional District of Pennsylvania. Along with being a maker, I'm an avid windsurfer, but living in Philadelphia and surfing in a small bay in New Jersey, it can be quite hard to go to the bay and too cold to go windsurfing when it's winter. So I developed a land wind powered skateboard for on land windsurfing using a recycled skateboard, windsurfing equipment, and custom fabricated pieces. I used my aptitude for engineering and was able to continue one of my favorite sports, windsurfing, through the winter. This project won my first prize in the Remake It Autodesk Design and Make contest. My favorite video games are typically space themed. However, I became dissatisfied with games that did not reflect the proper physics or visuals of space. I was determined to build a game that adhered to more realistic depictions of it. In my game, players operate in a spaceship with realistic flight controls that allow the player to fly. A user interface indicates the ship's speed, health, and protection levels. I also designed an AI face tracking system to give the game a semi VR experience without the need of a VR headset. This system works by rotating the game's point of view based on the player's face position to the real screen. I used high definition graphics to design realistic planets with visible atmospheres and correct gravitational orbits. Once through the planet's atmosphere, the player flies through volumetric clouds and can see procedurally generated mountains, dirt, and trees that move in the wind. Using raycasting and neural networks, I created an enemy plane for the player to fight against. I decided to take my research one step further. I wanted to prove that applying AI face tracking actually made the game more immersive. I turned the game into an experiment for the George Washington Carver Science Fair. I designed 2 experiments to capture both subjective and objective criteria for analyzing immersiveness. For the subjective test, participants played the video game with the AI face tracking technology turned on and off. For the objective test, I built a new video game. This game included a loud sound and flash of light after 1 minute of playtime, monitoring changes to their heart rate with a Fitbit device. I tracked whether the jump scare effect was greater in players assigned with the face tracking version. After conducting my experiment and concluding statistical analysis, I found that AI face tracking technology does increase the video game's immersiveness. I won first place in the computer science category of George Washington Carver Science Fair and proved to myself that I had achieved my goal of building an immersive 3D video game that more realistically depicted space.